The Morrison government has warned councils against political shenanigans this Australia Day. They've bluntly cautioned them not to use COVID-19 restrictions as an excuse to cancel the national celebration. It's a day that should be about celebration and togetherness as a nation, but instead it's increasingly become used as a day of divisiveness. And some councils, such as Byron Bay Shire and Melbourne's Moreland, are going as far as joining the movement to change the date and cancelling citizenship ceremonies. I'm going to take this up with former Speaker of the House Bronwyn Bishop and broadcaster Luke Grant. Bronwyn, the message from the Morrison government is loud and clear. It's one I support 100%. The powers should be stripped from councils if they don't go along with our celebrating our National Day. Am I on the wrong path here, or am I on the right side of your opinion?
Absolutely the right path, Cory. Unfortunately, too many councils have been infiltrated by the radical socialists who really hate Australia. And so we shouldn't be surprised. But the responsibility lies with the voters to pay greater attention to who they're voting for, because if you don't pay attention to who you're electing as to be your servants, they'll soon become your masters. And that's why it's imperative that the federal government does take a strong lead and say, well, if you're not going to celebrate the making of Australian citizens on Australia Day, then we will take away the power of you to administer the oath and make citizens at all. You know, I've attended so many Australia Day ceremonies as the member for Mackellar, when I found it was one of the most important days in the lives of Australians when they became Australian citizens. And I'll meet them in the supermarket still this day and they'll say, you made me a citizen. So it is not to be played with. It is far too important. But as I said, if you don't pay attention, your servants will become your masters. And that's what's happened with too many councils.
It's a very good point. And Luke, you know, in 2021, a day that brings us together, that we can celebrate being a nation after a very, very difficult year in which our nation has been divided and is still divided by walls and a whole bunch of other nonsense. And now councils are getting in on the act by trying to divide us even more. I mean, I'm pleased the government stepped in here, but surely the people should be appalled at this too, shouldn't they?
Well, they should be, Cory and Bronwyn. Of course they should. But from reading some of the quotes of soon-to-be Australian citizens, they seem more Australian than some of the councils who will or won't be holding these ceremonies. But you know what? Yep. Full marks to the Morrison government. This is not good enough. This is not Australian. And if they can't do or won't do the ceremony, there are plenty of federal members, and there's the Australia Day Council, who should be given the chance to step in and do it on their behalf, on our behalf. It's absolutely appalling.
All right, you've given full marks to the Morrison government. I'm going to be interested in how many marks you're going to give to this latest piece of activism, which I think has got a bit beyond ridiculous. A family named cheese, and we all know the name, it's the Coon cheese brand from 1935, has been forced to change after a campaigner said it had a racist agenda. It's now known as Cheer Cheese, and it's going to appear on our shelves in July. Luke, are you going to be rushing in to hoard this, because it could become a collector's item? I suspect its lifespan is going to be very, very short.
I don't know how you keep it as long as you might need to become valuable. But how ridiculous is it? I had a listener today tell me that there was something like 21 people in the Sydney White Pages whose surname was, wait for it, shock horror, Coon. The cheese was named after Dr. Edward Coon, who revolutionised the processing or making of cheese. It wasn't a product released into the dairy shelves. Hey, this will really offend those people who are not Caucasian. The whole thing is preposterous. And what happens to people that wake up tomorrow morning in Coonamble? Do they have to move? I mean, most of my listeners today said, I've made my mind up here. I won't be buying Cheers cheese. I'll be buying the Bega cheese or something like it. It is pathetic. But I'll just say one thing quickly. Had they not done it, like many Australian businesses, they would have got the social media pile on, and they would have been shamed everywhere. And it is about profit. So they were on probably a hiding to nothing, but I think it's preposterous.
Plenty of us are a bit concerned about government grants, so maybe, Luke Grant, you'll be cancelled at some stage in the future for your forebears.
I'm sure I will be.
Bronwyn, we cannot keep cancel culture going forward. We cannot keep erasing history for the sake of appeasing keyboard warriors and virtue signallers. It is dangerous for us.
It is very dangerous. And people might say, well, what difference does it make whether you change the name of the cheese or not if it upsets somebody or other? Well, it does matter because it sets a precedent. He is a Canadian company. It's no longer Australian, a Canadian company that has made this decision. And the reasons that Luke gave, I think, are pretty accurate ones. But it does just show how weak so many boards are. And there's no willingness to stand up to this. So there's no end to it. The more it occurs, the more people will attempt to take it even further and more things will be cancelled. You have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. My line in the sand this time will be Bega cheese because at least brought back Vegemite too. So buying Australian for me, but it's an important point. It's not this exact example itself that is so much the important issue. It's the fact that it is yet another one who is caving in to pressure.
Luke, I've got one quick 30 seconds left, but when there's a political pile-on, all the forgotten pollies come out to have a stab at whoever is wounded. Hillary Clinton has come out and said Trump supporters are domestic terrorists who need to be tracked and surveilled. Blamed everyone for fueling the chaos in America. This is out of control. What can we do about Hillary Clinton?
Well, we just, look, they've won everything. They've got the Senate, they've got the House, and they've got the White House. And they want to impeach this bloke. You've won everything. The point's been made. He probably got something horribly wrong. Don't impeach him. He's away in 8 days. Please move on and unite. A weird concept, bring people together.